Hello friends, welcome to another week of TNT. Now we've got a lot to cover today. We've got the latest weed news. We've got Brits behaving badly. We've got police with their advice on what to do with sex tapes on Valentine's Day and a whole lot more. So thanks to 5 Star Marine, our sponsor. They're here in Phuket. If you'd like to do a private tour out to an island, let's get started. So we'll start today's TNT with the Royal Thai Navy as they start to unravel some of the reasons the Sukhothai, the frigate, sank last month. And the Thai Navy insists there were sufficient life jackets on the ill-fated HTMS Sukhothai. This reported by Thai PBS World. And the Navy Supply Department says there were 130 life jackets on board the boat for the 105 crew members when it sank off Prachuap Khiri Khan on December the 18th. That long ago. And the Admiral says the investigation team's in the process of determining why some of the men had claimed they did not have enough life jackets, adding that the Royal Thai Navy will be able to settle this controversial issue with the public. Regarding the cause of the sinking of the vessel, he said initial findings show that the ship took on water and listed heavily because the water could not be pumped out fast enough. Well, we sort of know that, but the reason is why. And down the bottom there, the cost of salvaging the ship has been estimated at about 200 million baht, and 76 of the crew were rescued. 24 were confirmed dead when their bodies were found. 5 remain missing, obviously assumed to have drowned. So heavy toll there from that sinking of the ship back in December, and the Navy now coming out with some of the reasons that it happened. 200 million to salvage the ship. I sort of think they should just leave it at the bottom of the sea and spend that 200 million on a brand new boat that perhaps doesn't sink quite so readily. To our next story now, we head to the nation Thailand, and Thai sniffer dogs are becoming stars of the earthquake rescue efforts. Obviously, this is in Turkey, where the death toll has now risen, I think, to over 28,000, and not only in southern Turkey but in northern Syria as well. And Thailand's search and rescue team searching for survivors of last Monday's devastating earthquake has drawn applause on social media for its 43 people and the 2 dogs. And the female golden retrievers are in the team from the Urban Search and Rescue Thailand have become social media stars in Thailand because many Thais were unaware of the vital role sniffer dogs play in search and rescue missions. Now, being an Australian, we were some of the early adopters of sniffer dogs, and we used to have very often the little beagles sniffing around our bags at the airport. Now, I wasn't aware that golden retrievers were particularly good sniffer dogs. I mean, in the world of canines, golden retrievers, albeit a lovely breed, beautiful nature, and not necessarily known for their high intelligence or their sniffing capabilities. But maybe these dogs are different. Let's go on with the story. I'm going to get hate mail. Now, the team left Thailand last Thursday. They started work in a southern Turkish province on the Mediterranean coast that borders Syria. The temperature dropped to 2 degrees Celsius at their base. Both the dogs were put in sleeping bags to keep them warm while waiting to start their work. And there they are, looking ready and raring to go. Photo there from nation Thailand. And their main task is to search for earthquake victims in the rubble and signal to their handlers if they find someone. The 7.8 magnitude earthquake occurred in southern Turkey and northern Syria, leaving about 24,000 people dead and affecting millions more in both countries. And that story was posted on Saturday. We go to our next story today on TNT, and this one from Thai PBS World. And a Briton wanted in the UK on drug trafficking charges has been nabbed in Bangkok, and a British national wanted in the UK on narcotics trafficking charges was arrested in Bangkok's Bang Khen district. And the 54-year-old, known as Richard, we'll find out more about his name in a moment, was thought to have come to Thailand after jumping bail in January 2017 when he was sentenced to 11 years in jail over smuggling amphetamines valued at around £8 million. And CIB police had searched for the British fugitive for years until they found out that he'd been living in Hua Hin. They then monitored his movements while reporting to the Office of Attorney General to start the process of extradition. I'm thinking if you are a fugitive and you're trying to hide from the police, I would have thought you'd go to somewhere a little bit more remote than places like Hua Hin, Pattaya or Phuket, because of course there's plenty of expats in those areas, and if you're starting to talk to people, people are going to start to chat. So I thought if you're trying to hide, really hide, you'd go somewhere a little bit more remote. Let's see the way that the Bangkok Post is reporting this story, and they say police arrest wanted UK drug trafficker who fled 11-year jail term, and the man had changed his name to Aaron Peter Lambsden. Now, just above there is the man's real name, 54-year-old Richard Mark Wakeling. And based on information from the UK National Crime Agency, Wakeling attempted to transport £8 million worth of liquid methamphetamine into the UK in 2016. Further investigation shows his crime ring was a major player in the illicit drug trade in Europe, according to police. And after tracking him, authorities were able to intercept him while he was travelling to meet a friend in the Ekamai area of Bangkok. Wakeling has consented to be extradited to the UK to face his punishment. And there he is, Richard Wakeling, 54-year-old, making his way back to the UK with a police escort after his short trip in Thailand. And thanks to those people that joined us over the weekend, especially yesterday, we had the snake guy in Vincent, and he answered all people's questions about snakes in Thailand. So if you'd like to find out more about snakes that are lurking around Thailand and if they're dangerous, then you can watch that video that we recorded yesterday. You're watching TNT. So now getting into a part of the program, I think we should headline drugs, everything you wanted to know but were afraid to ask. We start with the Thai newsroom, and Thaksin Minister joined social media push to legalise e-cigarettes. Let's see what's happening. And former Premier Thaksin, who is viewed as the de facto Thai leader, said the penalty for possessing e-cigarettes is 7 years imprisonment, yet children can smoke marijuana, which is not actually true. What is the logic behind this? Will someone answer? So the former Prime Minister weighing into the vaping debate. Let's see what some other people say in this Thai newsroom story. The DES Minister Chawut, who's the Deputy Leader of Palang Pracharat, which is the leader of the coalition party, bluntly called for stopping pretentiousness and is ready to push for legalising e-cigarettes as part of the party policy. And a former MP, Chuit Kamondvisit, also a whistleblower, former soapy massage parlour owner, and apparently the owner of the Davis Hotel, which I used to stay at quite a lot in the early 2000s when I first came to Thailand. Now, he's currently focusing, as we know, heavily on exposing corruption. He said the root cause of extortion is that e-cigarettes are still illegal in Thailand. He added that he's ready to recommend that the laws on import, purchase and sale of e-cigarettes be amended to plug loopholes, because if everything is transparent, then the government would get revenue from this product. And I think that's one of the things people have often said, that one of the reasons that e-cigarettes aren't legal is because the tobacco industry are trying to stop them from becoming legal. Well, I don't really see that theory as flying, because all they can do is transfer the taxes from cigarettes. Well, leave the taxes there, but add taxes onto e-cigarettes, so that when people are buying e-cigarettes or the vaping liquids, then they're still contributing to the government's coffers. Let's see what some other people say. Sombat Bungnamanong, a political activist, tweeted that e-cigarettes were declared illegal after the National Council for Peace and Order, better known as the Army Coup of 2014, seized power and announced policies to organise the society. They saw that people in the Middle East smoked hookah, and this is similar to marijuana hookah, and then it spread to e-cigarettes. But now marijuana is legal, why e-cigarettes are not. So an interesting potted history there about why e-cigarettes may have become illegal in Thailand. To the next part of our quick drugs whip around today. And ASEANnow.com with a translated report that Anutin was confident that the Cannabis Act would pass into law despite actions in the House stalling matters. Well, I don't think that's going to happen despite his best intentions or wishes. And down the bottom there, Thai Rath quoted him as saying that weed was an antidote to poverty and pain and would put 30 billion baht into the economy. He said that people shouldn't just blame marijuana and bang on about it making the user high, and that news came out on the same day that the Pattaya police chief found an automatic vending machine selling marijuana products. Really? Let's go and find out more about that. And this is also reported in ASEANnow.com, and Pattaya's new police chief reacted swiftly to complaints that an automatic vending machine had been set up outside a restaurant on the holiday island of Koh Larn, which is just off the coast of Pattaya. It was not selling drinks or snacks, but marijuana and e-cigarettes. Locals were concerned that not only would the machine make it easy for youths, I think they should be youth, to access the items, but it would do damage to the image of tourism on the island, according to Siam Rat. And there it is, a bright purple vending machine. Horror of horrors. Let's see if we can find out more about what was available. Button 1 showed a pre-rolled joint or squirrel tail for 280 baht. This would be very expensive for what is basically Thai stick weed, says the expert who wrote this story. Button 3 appeared to be a vaping device for about 440 baht. Number 7 were brownies for 250 baht. Number 12 was brown paradise cookies. Not quite the cookies my mum used to make, and I suspect that machine's now made its way back to the police station for some extensive investigation. And we go to the next part of our drugs roundup now, and also from ASEAN Now. Secondary school boy's heart stops after he's forced to smoke marijuana by older pupils. He nearly dies. That's a very, very long headline. And the Siam Rath headline said, Nelly dies, M1 child forced by elder M3 pupils to take ganja. In shock and unconscious, heart stops beating. It happened up in Loi, which is in far northeast Thailand, where M3 pupils forced the younger pupil to smoke the drug. The boy was taken to hospital after the incident on February the 2nd. And down the bottom there, ASEAN Now reminding us that M1 indicates the first year of secondary education. Here endeth our roundup of drugs information around today in Thailand. Yes, you're on the TNT Monday program. This week we're going to wrap up our auction of these toy elephants made by Seeds of Change, made from my old shirts. And we're going to be wrapping this up next Saturday's program, live program with Nick back in the chair with his funny haircut. We'll be finishing the auction and auctioning off the remaining elephants. So that's all going to wrap up later this week. For those people that have bid so far, thank you very much for your generosity. I think we're already up around 90,000 baht for Seeds of Change. Put the elephant back there. And the police have been very helpful as we head up to Valentine's Day this week. Not sure what... Oh, that's what? Tomorrow. Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I'll tell you my tiny little connection with Valentine's Day. From the Bangkok Post, don't make sex videos on Valentine's, say police. Some good advice, perhaps. The Technology Crime Suppression Division is warning lovers not to video record their sex on Valentine's Day to avoid being blackmailed after the relationship ends. And police say that lovers often express their passion for one another on Valentine's Day, but they should take precautions by not recording it on video. Very helpful advice. Lovers may voluntarily record their sexual intercourse, but if they break up in the future, men may release the clips online and damage women. Oh, those dreadful men. Sextortion is only one of several categories of crimes linked to love, although it causes the greatest financial and reputational damage. Another is romance scams, where scammers use profiles of handsome foreigners to develop relationships and finally trick their victims into transferring money to them. And down the bottom there in the Bangkok Post article, last month alone, 168 romance scams and 235 hybrid scams were reported. Total damage in the cases was estimated at about 190 million baht. Well, I would have thought that sex tapes can be made on any day of the year, and the ones made on Valentine's Day are no more or no less likely to be used for extortion. But anyway, the police trying to be helpful as we lead up to Valentine's Day. The story from ThaiPBSWorld.com, over 300 hotspots detected in Chiang Mai province yesterday. And the story says that more than 300 hotspots in the Chiang Mai province reported yesterday, and a warning that air pollution in Thailand is expected to be worse this year than last. A total of 826 hotspots have been detected in the 4 provinces, including 375 in Chiang Mai, 139 in Chiang Rai, 173 in Mae Hong Son, and 139 in Lampung. So this is the fire maps, and we've spoken about this before. So it just shows you, if you look around the region, you've sort of got China there, you've got the Philippines, all of Southeast Asia, India, and then even worse, Southeast Asia is just a hotbed of burning activity. So just zooming in further here, and I've tried to be helpful by marking out Myanmar, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Cambodia. And for those people that are not familiar with the immediate region, and you can see that there's plenty of activity in Laos and Myanmar, but certainly Thailand. This is live, by the way. These are the current fires burning in these areas. And you can see around the Lampang area in sort of north-central Thailand, there's a lot of fire activity. Just zooming in a little bit, I've got those dots marking Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. So they're certainly bearing the brunt of this very severe smoke situation. So that's a live fire map courtesy of NASA, and we'll check that out from time to time during this burning season. Which leads us to this story from The Nation, nationthailand.com. Forest fire crisis delays flights at Mae Hong Son Airport, and many areas in the city district were covered in smoke from forest fires that was so thick yesterday morning that several airlines rescheduled morning flights to and from Mae Hong Son Airport to the afternoon. So when it gets to the stage of them having to cancel flights, I think we realise how serious it is. And with that, I thank you very much for joining the program today. Please, if you get an opportunity, share it with your friends, tell your friends about TNT, and of course, if you get the opportunity, please subscribe to the channel. As we've said before, that doesn't cost you anything. We're not going to send you emails, but it does help the channel sort of progress. And with that, I thank you for joining us on our Monday program. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.